When it comes to our baseball coverage, and specifically with the Boston Red Sox, so 6 o'clock Eastern today, Jared, and I love Harold's passion for it, and clearly a lot of people are talking about this catch-22 at third base. Devers had 12 errors last year, tied for fifth most among third basemen. You signed Bregman, who's a Gold Glove Award winner. Rafi makes it very clear, Jared, hey, no, third base, that's my position. They haven't played Bregman at second base, nine games at second base in 9 years. How do you solve this quandary?
Yeah, I think it starts with David Ortiz popping into camp the other day. Having him down there, having conversations with Devers. I will say we were in Fort Myers last week, and I understand how it came off in the press conference when Devers was talking about it. He was really upset. He actually doubled down on his comments the second time around. They tried to give him a few days to cool off, and he said, "I still feel the same way." But just going down there and talking to everyone around Red Sox camp, it seems like they've gotten to a place where, and Devers said as much, that I'm going to do what's best for the team. Having the conversations with the David Ortiz, that's going to go a long way. I was talking to guys that have been full-time DHs in this league, and to the point about Devers wanting to stay at third base because it keeps him more athletic. I think Costas was the one that made that point. It keeps him more athletic. That's no joke. Like, if you're a full-time DH, some of these guys, it takes a different kind of mentality to be able to do it day in and day out, because you don't necessarily feel like you're a part of the game. But in terms of, is this a problem or not? It didn't seem like it at Red Sox camp, and I was telling you guys before I came on, it's kind of become a joke around other camps as well. Like, not to name any names, but went to some other camps, and I walked in, and some guys like, "I play third base." People are just looking at me and making fun of it. So, yeah, I think ultimately it'll smooth itself out.
I just think it's a huge problem. Look, he's too young to DH. Let's just put it out there. David Ortiz can say whatever he wants. He can bring him cake. He can take him to dinner. All that. David Ortiz was in the mid-30s when he's DHing. This guy's 26 years old. And I'm sorry, he's not ready to DH. And if he doesn't accept it, he's going to be worse. They got a bad problem here. And here's my worry, Jared. We're running out of time. Season's getting ready to start. He hasn't taken a ground ball anywhere but third. So if they're saying, well, maybe we'll put him at first, it's getting a little late. And maybe Bregman to go back in second, getting a little late.
Right. How do you like splitting it up between righty and lefty situation? Like, what if you have Yoshida DHing against righties and Devers DHing against lefties? Do you like that? Because there's not really a lot. There's not really a lot of lefties. There's not really a lot of lefties in the division.
For a platoon player?
He's not a platoon player. He's in there no matter what, Harold.
No, I'm not doing that either. Not doing that.
You're telling me that when Rafael Devers signed his extension for $300-something million, that you think he signed for his defense? His big quote in Boston was, "I'm happy here. I get paid great money, and I hit homers." At no point was he like, "Man, I love picking it over at third." And I get it. The point is valid about staying athletic. I totally get that. I wouldn't put him at full-time DH, and I think it will be a rotation of sorts. But if you're gonna say, "I'll do what's best for the team," that necessarily does mean you're gonna have to have some at bats at DH this year.
I don't have a problem having some at bats. Not sure. The bulk of my at bats are not as a DH, where I'm labeled as a DH, because that's not why you sign into a contract. If that's the case, then give all the DHs $300 million. That ain't happening.
No, that ain't happening. Jared, the Red Sox haven't had a winning season or a playoff appearance since 2021, but they beefed up their pitching staff. Not only Walker Buehler, but how about Garrett Crochet? What do you add to this rotation?
Yeah, got to talk to him down in spring training too. It was very interesting to hear him speak about the comparisons to Chris Sale, because I mean, that's a guy that just won the Cy Young Award in the National League. And I'm paraphrasing, but the thought was, Chris Sale's amazing. That guy's a dog, but I'd rather be the first Garrett Crochet than the next Chris Sale. And I love that.
Wow.
You're talking about a beefier Chris Sale, a dude that mixed in a sinker last year, just kind of tinkering with it, and it became statistically one of the best pitches in baseball. So what does a full season of an arsenal that has that pitch look like? Also, I mean, last year was technically his first season as a starter, but we know what the second half looked like. They didn't let the dog off the leash. This will really be his first year as a starter where it's all systems go. Hopefully there's an extension in place at some point, but with or without without the extension, this is the goal is 32 starts, 200 innings.
Hey, Jared, I saw him at the MLB Awards in Vegas, and I hadn't seen him since maybe his college days, and I got a chance to see him last year. He is a mountain. And
Moose.
TV does not do him justice. So I'm wondering when you saw him in person, your thoughts.
I asked if he would be open to sitting farther back from the camera so that, like, optically it wouldn't look the way that it ultimately did. He wasn't into the idea, so we kind of just had to go side by side. Also, I interviewed Paul Skeens. He's huge as well.
Yes.
So I sat next to him. I was like, "You're gonna." He actually offered to do the setback, so I was like, "I appreciate that very much." But yeah, two very large individuals who can throw a baseball very, very hard.
Last one for you, Jared. The prospects: Roman Anthony, Christian Campbell, Marcelo Meyer. Who stands out the most?
I think for me, it's Christian Campbell. Interestingly enough, a lot of people were ready to hand him the opening day second base job, but he's been getting some reps out in left field this spring. If that's your opening day second baseman, you don't have him playing left field. So the dynamic has changed. Is Bregman your second baseman? Is he your third baseman? Is Campbell your second baseman? Either way, I would love to get him on the opening day roster, and you figure it out as you go. He's incredibly talented. All three of them are. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Marcelo Meyer. We know Roman Anthony's the top prospect in baseball, but Meyer is a guy that it's like, well, you know, we kind of have a set infield, and people have put him kind of in the backstop there. I don't know. I mean, but either way, Christian Campbell is the guy that I'm looking at as the one that can make the most immediate impact on the 2025 Boston Red Sox.
Tell you what, I'm going to throw a name at you that everybody has forgotten. Everybody has not mentioned this kid, but Vaughn Grissom is still there.
That's right.
And I'm telling you what, he's healthy. He looks great in camp. I'm just curious your thoughts. What's their plans with Vaughn?
Yeah, I mean, you know, if we're talking about having different lineups against righties and lefties, like that's a guy that can play second base against lefties. The defense is average, but on this team, you know, like the last couple of years, the defense has been abysmal. So average feels like the most welcomed attribute that you could bring to the table. We've seen the pop in the bat in short spurts, but he's put on some weight this past offseason. He's been working hard. He has the right mentality. It's an interesting name, Harold, to definitely keep an eye on.
Jared Carrabis, great stuff, man. Way to keep it tight, and appreciate the insight. Next week, we'll have you again on Hot Stove. Appreciate it.
Can't wait.
Jared Carrabis again.
Jared, you're giving a run to Amsinger and D-Row with the hair, man.
He's got excellent flow.
He's got the flow.
Excellent question. He's got to hit his barber, though, once a week. That's the key. Got to keep it tight. All right.